Let's move on then. We're into the top three now in the constructors, and third, Suzuki. The Team Suzuki team, the sole Suzuki team, of course. Third in the team's best results. Second, 3 times, with Rins and Mir. Rins, I think it's fair to say, not the season perhaps he would have been wanting. Full of a lot of incidents, but did get that second place at Silverstone. And then Joan Mir, the defending champion, no longer. Best result of second in Styria, but also the Algarve as well. Third place in Aragon, the Netherlands, Italy and Portugal. So fighting performances from Joan Mir, but just didn't look like they really had the machinery to fight really for the championship titles this season.
How much did they miss Davide Brivio is my question. I think he went off to Alpine Formula One.
Is he coming back?
Well, that's the question, isn't it, Harry? I think the rumour has it that he definitely is coming back to Suzuki. It's funny how that tiny piece of coordination sometimes just puts that ripple through the team, that link between rider, crew chief, and then factory. What you said in the build-up to Suzuki is very important in that they are the only 2 bikes out on the track that Suzuki are bringing to the table. And I think that is going to show even more starkly next year with 8 Ducatis on track and the big factory push from Ducati. Suzuki may find themselves falling a little bit behind. It's not been a great year for them. I don't think you can write them off, that's for sure, but they're a bit late to the game with the old whole shot device and the shapeshifter system that by the time that Ducati had developed theirs to the nth degree, was clearly a good system, and Suzuki's was a bit agricultural in comparison, I think, and that put them back a little bit because there is no doubt there is time involved in that. In other words, track time saving on lap times. So I don't know. Suzuki have got quite a lot to do. It'd be interesting to see what developments they bring. They've been very good over the years of subtle innovation that have made what is a beautiful motorbike. For me, the Suzuki is the most beautiful bike on the racetrack. From day one when they first brought it to Sepang, going back to the test when they first came back to the MotoGP, I just love the bike. But it just seems to have gone a bit soft on them for the 2021 season. Be interesting to see what Hamamatsu have come up with for next year.
I think their first priority is to hang on to Joan Mir. I think he's the guy. If you look at people, maybe Quartararo as well, people will be throwing contract offers at him as the world champion. But I think Joan Mir, if you look at someone who is in a situation where he's not completely happy with the bike that he had this year, that makes Suzuki vulnerable to losing him, doesn't it? And they need to respond. And I think they did respond well at the Jerez test. They had both, Guintoli, Suda, 2 test riders coming over. They made a big effort, a big visual effort as well. Mir would have seen, okay, this is, they're putting in the effort now. This is what I want to see. But I think, that's their first priority, because who would have said that Joan Mir wouldn't even lead a single lap this year? I mean, to go from world champion to not even lead, let alone a race win. I mean, I think Nicky Hayden was at 07 is the last time a champion didn't win a race the following year. I mean, he didn't even lead a lap. I mean, Rins did at least lead some laps. I mean, let's give him that. But I mean, and Rins actually, of course, nowhere in the championship and all of those mistakes, which, I mean, but he was actually ahead of Mir in I think most of the times when he fell off. So the one thing he can say is, well, he wasn't slow when he did fall off, but clearly you can't be having those many mistakes.
But he does make too many mistakes, doesn't he? Unforced errors, Pete. I think that's the trouble with him.
Well, I was going to say, and cycling into the back of a van while you're talking on the phone. I mean, that just, if you're looking for a low point of the season, it doesn't get any lower than that, does it?
That's a classic unforced error. Crashing your push bike into the back of a van. I shouldn't laugh because it hurt, but honestly, how do you do that?
On a racetrack as well, not
the
street.
racetrack.
I mean, it always amazes me that
an empty racetrack.
I have this conversation with my daughters. Obviously, from a very young age, you always say to them, "Don't step onto a zebra crossing without looking." Well, Dad, we've got right of way. I said, yeah. When you're laying up the road with a broken leg, you can argue that later. You're supposed to look where you're going, and you're supposed to look at idiots that haven't seen the zebra crossing. But for a racer to actually miss a man when you're riding your push bike. It is laughable, but there you go. It kind of underlines Rins a little bit, though, doesn't it? There's just something in his vision that he doesn't see.
Do they still have those hedgehog adverts for kids crossing the road where you've got to look left, look right, then look left again, and then you might be all right?
I go back to the Green Cross Code with the bloke in the green suit. You won't even remember it. Look it up in YouTube.
Yeah.
But the fact is, I mean, kids, it's all very well being right, but you're the one laying in the road that's hurt.
You may well end up paying the price, exactly. Well, yes, but as the sole Suzuki, the only Suzuki-powered team, third with three second places as their best results. Rins 13th in the end in the standings, Mir third with 208 points. But as you say, Pete, no win and not even leading any laps leaves them wanting for next season. Now, I'm going to go actually to Ducati next because I want to save Yamaha for the end, but we're going to go to our constructors winners.